Okay, so welcome to the stream. We are back, and let me clean up the chart before I start talking here. Let's take away these, All right, so today, everybody, we're going to be discussing a little, we've kind of discussed this before, but I'm going to be using our levels, our smart levels, our zones, with the stochastic RSI. No, I'm sorry, with the regular RSI and with the MACD. So let's go ahead and throw those up. I'll throw the MACD and then the RSI. So, and then it depends on what pair we're doing, obviously, to find our levels. So let's go ahead and start off with the good pair here, 95, 95. Let's try with the Euro and the Australian. So what we're looking for here, as always, we're trying to find our levels, trying to see which levels are significant. Once we find our levels, we wait. That's all we do. We just wait until the level hits. As you can see right here, it's a pretty decent level. So let me explain a little more. So price is going to come to our level. Once price comes to our level, then we'll be looking down here at our MACD and RSI. By the way, let's look at our settings real quick. I'm going to go with, let's see the difference here. Let's see which one looks better for the small candles. But we'll stick with the 714 for the MACD. For the RSI, I'm thinking, let's go with, I think the 7 will be fine. Okay. So here we go. There he is. All right, so we'll just leave it like that. Once price comes to our level, we're going to be looking for a falling of momentum like this, you see, like this. And then MACD is going to give us a little cross, give us a signal to enter. That was an excellent sign here. Let's go ahead and mark the top of this. Right there. So we can tell that was a drastic point. It was a drastic turning point. And you can see right here with these other two tops. Didn't quite stretch up here. That's okay. There's still time. So before we get hasty, let's just watch. Find our levels. We've got this one. We've got this obvious one down here. So let's go ahead and mark that one. Okay. Then we can find some micro levels. If we throw our fib, let's find the fib right here. Go wick to wick, and something like that. And we can find our micro levels. So this looks pretty significant right here. These are going to be areas where we might get some stumbling, some pullbacks, or price might stutter a bit or bounce. You can see it bounce perfectly right here. It's a pretty good zone right here. So let's leave that up. Let's just keep an eye on that. But right here you can see our range. So ideally we want to wait for another hit on this one. Another hit on this zone. While we're waiting, let's go search some other ones. Let's see what we got. Okay, we got the Euro Canadian. Let's mark our levels on this one too. Let's say that's a good one. That's like a double top up there. Disappeared here. Double top. Down here at the bottom we got a good one. About right there. That's fine. This looks pretty solid right there. We can see that was a stuttering point for a couple different times. Because price broke through, but it couldn't handle it, and it came back up. Used it as support again. And let's do, say maybe about this zone. That looks pretty good. And obviously we have some stuff going on right here. So I'm gonna keep that in mind. Excuse me. All right, wow, look at that. Gonna break down. So that one's coming to one of our levels. Let's give it a second. As soon as it touches our zone, we can be looking for something here on our oscillators. While that's doing it, let me check on the last one, the Euro Australian. Yeah, see, okay, we got the bounce coming back up. Okay. Let's just keep watching these two. These are looking pretty good. Okay, yeah, see, we got our hit in the zone. Now we're watching our oscillators to give us some type of, maybe like a divergence, some type of signal to show us that we are not, or show us that we're going to bounce here, or that we're going to at least stutter, you know, enough to get us a trade for 30 seconds. So we got a signal here, we got a cross and a cross. That's not as good of a signal as I wanted. You know, I'm all about divergences. I like to find, you know, a dip and then a lower dip while momentum comes up. But we can still wait for that here. Just gotta be patient. Let's check our other one here. Okay, price is breaking down here. This other one looks more interesting. So we can try to trade the bounce off here. Let's at least wait for a signal from our MACD and get a little rejection. See if we can get a rejection pattern from some candles. I'm seeing a lot of wicks, so it could be a good thing for us. Okay, we got the crossover on both. I'm going to go ahead. Got 30 seconds, so we'll see. Got a nice wick and then almost engulfing. And the momentum, you know, it's about center right now, so this could be pretty good. Price and momentum were kind of dropping, so I think we'll be all right. Oh, look at that. Oh, nice. Just right on the line. I still think we're going to get another rejection here. This price is just battling. MACD's flattening out. But we can see our RSI just can't rise. So if we can get a price stretch and a lower high, I think we can go for another one here. Might not even get the price stretch. But in that case, we'll look for the price stretch down, momentum up, MACD cross, boom, we're going for a call. So our MACD momentum is coming up too, but it's still staying flat within the last few candles, so it's kind of undetermined. Okay, let's see if we can get a price stretch. maybe another tap. But if momentum comes too low on our RSI, I'm out. I'm not going to take it. Okay, price coming down. Let's make sure this level right here stays respected. We got the tap. I'm waiting for maybe a cross and make sure we don't break through. It's just still flat. So it's pretty risky because MACD is so flat. And momentum's still coming down on the RSI. Okay, there's our up. Let's go ahead. We've got our signal here on the RSI. It looks like MACD's about to print another crossover. So let's hold on for 20 seconds here. So again, we had our double tap here. Momentum moving up. 5 seconds left on the clock. I think we got this one. Wow. We called that one right. Boom. All right, 2 out of 2. There we go. So you see our zones. Those are very important. A lot can happen around our zones. Because you just don't want to be, shooting off blind. Have some type of structure. Even if you don't use these two, at least use your zones and your levels. These are important. We've got another price stretch here. I'm going to tap on our zone. Momentum is still coming up. I think we're still good for another call. I'm not going to do it, but yeah, you could definitely make another one here. And you would get 30 seconds at least. Okay, price is sidewinding here. So let's go check on our other one. See how it's doing. Okay, look, we got the other tap in our zone right on time, but right before that price dropped a lot. So we've technically got a divergence going on, so we can call, or sorry, we can put. We've got our crosses. Looks like momentum is pretty high on both. It could be strong enough that it might break through. I'm going to wait for a better signal, maybe another tap. But that was pretty solid here. Yeah, stretched down, blasted back up, and then it looks like it just can't break through. So momentum's coming down. I think we're safe. This is our rejection zone. Yeah, if we can hold out for 15 more seconds, I think we'll be all right. 10 on the clock. It seems like, it ran out of steam. It stretched so fast, so far. Boom, there we go, we got it. So 3 for 3. It stretched so fast, so far, and it just can't break that level. That's why these levels are so important. Before you make any trade, find your levels. This one might give us another one here if price can stretch while momentum falls. Because momentum is about midway right now on both oscillators. But price keeps wanting to touch our zone. So, almost. There it goes. It wants to touch. It really wants to break through that line. And I don't know. It just swept some liquidity here. Just swept a lot of liquidity. And failed. Okay. See, that was another good one right here. Stretched and broke. Got a nice divergence on both oscillators. That was really solid. You don't have to take every trade, but if you can identify them, that's good too. Okay, well that one kind of exhausted its move right there. That was the one we're waiting for. That's okay, we still got one too. Got one out of there, so we're 3 for 3. Let's go check in on the Euro, Canadian. Okay, here we go. Price broke. Turned into support. Let's see if we can get another bounce off this for support. Momentum's rising, we can see, on both oscillators. So if we can get a bounce here, that would be nice. Right there, that's our bounce, and then we want a signal on our oscillators. At least wait for a MACD cross or something. And confirmation that we're not breaking. Okay, almost confirmation. Looks like, okay, yeah, it looks like price wants to stretch again. It's all right. We've got a cross, so let's give it a shot. Got 30 seconds on the clock. What may happen is we sweep liquidity, come back down, but who knows, maybe we'll jump to this one. We still have some liquidity here to catch. Oh, looks like we're gonna miss that one. Okay, that's fine, we're 3 for 4, but we can see we were just a few seconds off. It's still gonna continue up. Earlier probably would have been better to get in on there right as the candle opened, but I think we'll have another chance right here. Let's throw a little Fibonacci over here from wick to wick. Let's see what we've got going on. Yeah, see, this is a pretty hot zone. Momentum's falling, I see on the MACD. So price might become decisive here. Okay, well, let's give that time to sit. Go back to our Euro Australian here. Okay, we might have another rejection. Price just cannot break it. Momentum falling slowly. Actually, it's coming to a point. So there might be some type of breakout soon. Whether up or down, we don't know. We can try to catch it. But for this one, we just need to be patient. I'm gonna get rid of this. So if it turns to support, we'll be pretty good. Let's just do a little trend line, give or take. It's kind of what we're working with here. came up to our level. Price is fighting, you know, bulls and bears fighting. Let's let price come back down to our level and then try to get a bounce. See, our momentum's rising. So maybe we'll get a price stretch down, get a call. So it's broken through pretty well. Let's see if there's another. Yeah, okay, so this is our zone over here. I'll just draw that in so we can see it. It'll be coming up soon. Look at that, see, it's gonna stretch. We could get the rejection. So as soon as it hits our zone, let's watch for a rejection down here in our oscillators. Oh, well, it might have already happened. But let's give it another chance to stretch. It's almost, yeah, wants to stretch. Okay, it's probably sweeping liquidity. Momentum's moving up. I don't feel safe to do a put yet. We've got a lot of green down here on the histogram. But we can kind of see momentum getting stretched out down here on the RSI. So I think we might be okay. If we can get a cross signal down here. Okay, yeah, the MACD's going and going and going. It doesn't want to stop. I don't really want to mess with that yet. It might just be on a solid uptrend now. See how strong that momentum came up, but you know, what comes up must go down, so let's be patient. I think we're breaking down now. Let's wait for a green candle. Higher would be better to get in higher. That way we've got more room to work with. We may not get that here. Okay, got the stretch, got our momentum coming down. I'm gonna call a put right now. So I made the trade based off of momentum coming down while price is stretching. So, and because it's timed, we can be off a little bit. That's fine. Nope, we don't have it this time. Okay, no problem. We're 3 for 5. So this one turned into support pretty quickly, as we can see over here. It struggled to break through. After that bounce, it just decided that it wants to go more. So, hey, if that's what it wants to do, we've got to let price do what it wants. So, I think it's safe now to try another put, as momentum is falling on both. at that point we'd be catching a pullback and we're not following the trend. So you got to know that there's risks to that. Since we're kind of in no man's land here for now, I'm going to check back on our other one. Okay, there we've got some identified zones. See, okay, we broke, wow. Stabbed it with a wick and came right back down. Took all the liquidity, straight down. Wow, okay. That was a very good bounce. Down here we've got another chance. Momentum rising, price was falling. I think we've already missed our chance here. But this was a good entry point right there. See if it bounce or break through our zone. Okay, there's a little bounce. If we can catch two signals here, there we go, that's two. That could be a put. However, I see momentum rising. On the larger scale, momentum's falling here, but the micro scale, momentum's rising. So we would need to be careful. I'm not going to do that trade. Let's wait for a little price stretch and then bounce. Okay, there we go. We can get a lower high. Some type of candle formation. Okay, well, we're looking for the same thing up here. It just broke through this level. Yeah, temporary support. We've got the price stretch. Let's just wait here. Let's be patient. Our MACD shows a bit of some divergence here. Nothing crazy. So if you take the trade, it'll be a bit risky. See, very risky. Swap some more liquidity. And this will probably turn into support after it finally broke. It's almost like a cup and handle. Okay, well that works in our favor. We can use this as support. Got some wicks, they're very unsure what they want to do right here. taking off. You know, with all this green and the momentum rising and the breakout, you can also trade that as a breakout strategy. You just never know. That wasn't really our focus today. Maybe in the future. Alright, so we've got a lot of rising momentum. So if we can touch a zone, let's make a call. I might as well highlight this bit of a trend line working on right here. Let's just keep that in mind. That's for the future. If this hot zone right here, or it could even be this. Depends on how volatile price wants to be. But we're about to have a break of structure here, so looks like it might fall a bit. We're working on a bullish flag here. Go ahead and draw that out. Do something like that. And then if you know, with the bullish flag, you take your flagpole. We'll do something like that. You can measure. Oh, sorry. Well, once you get up there. There we go. Okay. You can see that, yeah, we've got a bit of a bullish flag going on here. So we know price will probably stretch. Let's wait for a bounce off the breakout zone. Oh, look at that. And it wants to continue. Nice. It's stretching. I think, yeah, that would have been really nice to catch this breakout, but that, you know, that's not the strategy for today. Alright, momentum's failing a little bit. I think it ran out of steam. I'm going to start breaking down probably. It's getting a little bit tighter on the MACD. Price is struggling. Got our signals down. But I hate when the MACD is so tight. Just means it's not clear. So we'd be trading blind if we take a trade right now. Plus, it still has some more room to grow. Okay, there's our signal up. if we were to follow the flagpole. We've got two crossovers. This one's being so volatile, so it's hard to tell exactly. That's why it's so risky. All right, while that's in no man's land, let's check out the other, our Euro Australian. Okay, so we've calmed down a little bit, came back down to our zone. Look at that, perfect. Had some divergence, boom, look at that. Wow, beautiful. Could not break it officially, and rose back up. So theoretically this could be a new zone for us. Let's just call that. And we're working in different territory here. The trend line, you can see that it's still following pretty good. It's still following pretty well, actually. Look at that. Couldn't break through this hot zone. So we can probably safely say we're going to have a continuation here, especially if our oscillators say the same thing. And we can see price didn't exactly come down to our trend line because it's not an exact science. It's not a perfect number or line. But let's see what happens in this little hot zone. It's a sharp drop in momentum. So we've got two safety nets here. This one supposed to be stronger. And we've got a trend line and a level of support. So if we can get a signal, we can make a call. Let's check our oscillators. And yeah, I don't like to make a call on a large green candle. That's pretty stupid, in my opinion. So we got the signal. We just need to find a perfect entry. Damn, I think that was it right there. I'm not too excited about that RSI, because the RSI itself is pretty volatile here. Wow, look at that jump. Where did my line go? Let's throw one there. Another bounce in this zone. Stretch it out so we can see a bit. Alright, wow, look at that. Price wants to stretch. Pretty unclear for now what exactly with these crazy candles. So let's give it a few more seconds. This MACD momentum is climbing. Looks like RSI MACD or RSI lines are climbing as well. Price is stretching now. I want to see some dying momentum before I make a move. Wow, there's some big liquidity sweep. And we got the crossovers. So let's wait for a higher candle, maybe right here. Okay. Wow, just a couple seconds late, but that's fine. Hopefully we can get a little movement down here. And it'll play around with our lines for at least 15 more seconds. And not get the old stretch back up to higher highs. I think we got 10 more seconds, come on. So I tried to catch these cross downs right here, and there we go, boom, got it. So what are we at? 4 out of 6, that's good, not bad. So, and to be clear, this was our zone, this was our zone here that we wanted to bounce off of. So it hit our level, gave us a nice large wick. I saw the crossover on both, and boom, 30 seconds later, money in the pocket. Might give us another chance here. But again, momentum is climbing on the larger scale. See, now the lines are above the 50 on the MACD. So that could be a good signal for some longs. Plus our trend line is still holding pretty well. Let me extend it here. Look at that. It's not perfect, but it's never perfect. It's about right there, yeah. That's pretty solid. It's almost like a channel. Come on. There we go. Let's extend it back. Okay, yeah. Let's see what happened with our other one here while we're waiting. Boom, look. Almost to the T. And broke down. And hit our hot spot right here. That's what we called too. We said it was either going to hit this one or this one. And we got that price bounce right here. Perfect rejection. The divergence wasn't so clear here, but we had a huge price stretch, and momentum was it's about the same on the RSI. But once you get that break of structure right here, it was gone. And again, it's following our trend line, so let's see what happens here. Looks like it wants to come to a point. I'm going to draw a horizontal at the tops so we know. And if we extend our trend line, we can kind of see, maybe we can guesstimate where it's going to shrivel up. And let me go to the other one here. Euro, Australian. Yeah, look, see, we're holding that trend line. That's pretty solid right there. So far, momentum is coming up. I think we're good for another call. That was a signal right there. On the MACD, not yet. On the RSI, it's crossing. So I think we're good for another call. At least 30 seconds, let's see. .15 seconds on the clock. Price is messing with us. This is a pretty hot zone, so it's a bit risky, but we might could still catch the bounce if we get 3 seconds. Oh, look at that. Oh, right at the line. Right at the line. It's okay. 5 out of 7. No, 4 out of 7. Let me go ahead and check back real quick. That one's getting tight. 1, 2. Let me see real quick. Okay, so yeah, 4 out of 7. Those are pretty damn good odds. Got some breakthrough right here. I think our trend's gonna keep continuing. Momentum climbing. That looks good. Double top up there. Didn't quite sweep it, but momentum is falling. Cross was way back here, but the RSI gave another cross, so that was pretty solid here. Sorry, here. Because of the divergence. Hopefully this turns into support. That'll give us another opportunity. So let's watch. Looking for a bounce and a cross. And if lines can stay about 50 or higher, that would be ideal. Okay, there's our cross. Almost. Yeah, I don't like the way those are looking. Just too risky. And then on the other side, on the flip side, we're looking at the price stretch, divergence, and cross. I think that one might come sooner. Not quite a price stretch, but pretty close. Okay. Price stretch. There we go. Wow. Okay, price jumped. Yeah, look at that. So it wasn't just a stretch, it was a jump. It was a continuation. We could call the stretch maybe, no, that's too risky. Because one strategy, you can catch a really large candle in the opposite direction. But that doesn't always work. It's pretty risky. So let's see here, it would have worked out, but you can see here it would not have worked out. All right, we got our crosses on both. If we get in on a green candle, maybe, ooh. don't think we're going to catch this one. It's all right. We're patient. We're sitting at 4 out of 7. We're still doing well. Still positive for the day. You want to protect your capital. So there's a little channel forming right here. Let's go ahead and mark that up. Let's just do it from that point on. Something like that. There we go. So the price might still want to hold on to that level. That's okay. Try to use it to our advantage. I'm going to peek on our Australian over here real quick. Okay, look, price broke. See, when it comes to that point at the very end, price is going to do something drastic, and it just broke down. See, the MACD got tighter. It couldn't decide what it wants to do. Then, boom, the bulls decided to take over. You can't predict anything like that, so don't even try, unless you just don't care. It's your money. This is not financial advice. I think we got time for one more trade. I'm gonna watch this. We're coming to our zone. I see momentum moving up, and as soon as we bounce our zone and get across, I'm gonna go up with it. See if we can knock that one out one more time. Let's see. That's a pretty good level. I'm gonna stick with that. Worst case, we break 4 out of 8. Best case, we got 5 out of 8. And it might be the case where 30 seconds was just not enough. If you trade with a higher number, maybe a minute, anything can be different. Anything can change. So, okay, sure. That's it. We're not going to do that one. That's all. So, you see, if you had a minute on the clock, you would have got that trade. We were just a little bit too early, and we missed it. Price wanted to stretch a little bit more. Okay. That's just how it is sometimes. We got 4 out of 8. That's not bad. We learned a lot today. I hope you did. So, again, that was our smart zones with our MACD and RSI. If you got any questions, you can always ask. Please ask. Learn every day. Study all you can. And I'll see you in the next session.